Hello,
Ah, Jefferson, hello, how are you?
I'm good. How about you? I'm a little late because I was trying to get in the class and my computer and the camera just don't open. It's the second time I have this problem. So I'm
Oh,
now
okay.
with the phone.
Right, right. Computers, what can we say? I used to work in IT for many, many years, and honestly, I worked in the whole side of troubleshooting for many years. I was a troubleshooter, and yeah, they go wrong, you know, they go wrong. What can you do? Normally, the universal fix is reboot and fingers crossed and see how you go. Oh well, I hope you managed to get it sorted. Um,
Yes.
yeah, fantastic. Let me just pick up on my notes. Change programs, total writing 27 and 3. What did we write on the third? Jefferson. Tend to do both. Exchange program, yeah. Maybe you do tests this year or next. Oh, that's right. That's right. Your British Council competition to get scholarship. And so we looked at the British Council website. Yeah, that's what we did, isn't it? Yes, we did.
Yes, I did two classes on the website. The Countryside is great, part one and two.
Okay, excellent. What
Um,
did you think?
I take some notes in both classes.
Hmm.
First, I read the transcript once to get all uh, the vocabulary, the words that I didn't know, the expressions that I didn't know, and I
Hmm.
learn about vocabulary in two
Mm.
classes. Then I read it again to understand the context.
Hmm.
Uh, with the words that I learned, and
Hmm.
then I listen the voice of the video,
Mm.
reading at the same time the transcript.
Good, good,
Then
good.
then I watched the video, just watch the video to understand all the context and the informations. Then I made the questions below.
Yep, yep.
Then I made a comment I write in my book, a short
Mm.
comment about the video.
Mm.
Then I put on Grammarly platform to correct the structure, the vocabulary, and I learned a lot because um, some grammar thing I made some mistakes and I can
Mm.
see now. And some words that I repeat, they suggest another kinds of words,
Mm.
or they
Mm.
just made an alert. So I knew that that word is very common or is
Mm.
repeat. So I was looking in the internet for other words to replace. So
Yeah,
it was really active. That was very active.
yeah, yeah. Fantastic. Jefferson, you're doing exactly what you need to do, right? This is what you need to do. Now, the one comment to make is that when you go from your writing at whatever your ability is, and then you run a tool like Grammarly, right? That's been programmed and everything with lots and lots of different rules and suggestions and things like that. It's going to, even native speaker Grammarly, is going to sort of give you an extra edge. Second language speaker, Grammarly, there's going to be a lot in there. And the key point is take key points away from it. Don't try and understand 100% because it potentially is going to be just too much too quickly, right? Um, when I do writing with people together, I don't go here to here. Like if somebody gives me IELTS writing or TOEFL writing, I don't go, okay, well in TOEFL that's going to be a 15. This is what a 30 looks like, right? Because there's things in between. nobody can be expected to learn that in a short time. You know, it's a process. So what you're doing now is exactly right. And just trying to basically get some of that vocabulary and make it a warm vocabulary that when you're trying to think of it in the future, all you need to do is think of these videos. I remember the guy went to that place and there was that thing they were talking about. Oh, that's the word, right? And it's that association, right? So we say a picture speaks 1,000 words. If we learn something in a picture, if we learn vocabulary from a picture, all we need to do is remember that picture or a personal experience.
Yes.
Yeah. As an example, I had a student last year who loved doing vocabulary lists. This is what she would do every day, vocabulary list for 3 days, and then she'd put that one aside and start a new one. And I said to her, it's not the right way to do it, really. And so we had a little thing, and she went to a park and she had to write down in the park, what could she see? What could she smell? What could she hear? How did she feel? And she had to write these in the most expressive way that she possibly could. Not just the wind was blowing in the trees, you know, the leaves in the tree were dancing in the wind, right? Things like that, being a little bit more creative. And she wrote this, and we checked it, we put some we changed some vocabulary around. I gave her an idiom to explain something that she was telling me. And, you know, we did this and she read it. And yeah, there you go, that's it. And we put it away. And she carried on with her vocabulary lists. And 2 weeks later, I asked her, did you do a vocabulary list yesterday? And she said, yes. I said, okay, go. Tell me what was on that list. And she could go 1, 2, 3. That was it. That was it. And I said to her, I said, do you remember when you went to a park, that park a couple of weeks ago, and you did that writing? She said, yeah, absolutely. I said, okay, give me the vocabulary. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got to 10, and she gave me the idiom to describe her fiance, her partner. Just like that, because it's associated with an event. Remember the event, you get the vocabulary. Remember a list, not a chance, right? So what you're doing is exactly right. All of that vocabulary associated with the countryside, making notes, because what you can do is you can step through these videos, doing exactly what you're doing. And then at the end, you can go, okay, I've got environment, I've got business, I've got language, I've got the countryside. What do I remember? What do I remember about the first one, the countryside? I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Okay, look at my notes. What did I write in my notes? My summary. Oh, this. Okay, why don't you watch the video again? Right? And really, really lock it in. And this is the best way to be doing this in front of a computer. A better way is where you go out into the countryside and you sit there and you start writing things, right? Because you can remember that even more. So, you know, you could do that as the next step, right? Study the countryside and then say, right, I'm happy that I've got that vocabulary. I now need to go and use it for myself. Go out into a park, sit in a park with a pen and paper, iPad, computer, whatever, and say, right, what can I see around me? Okay, I can see this. Right. How do I describe that? I'm going to take a photo and I put it into my document. Now, how do I actually describe this? Okay, I'm going to write this with the vocabulary that I know, bring it along to a class. I can see the picture, I can see your description, and I can say, okay, there's what you've created. What about this? What about that? What about that? And here's a piece of vocabulary that instead of you using 3 words, take that away. There's 1 word that does the job, right? And it's associated with your experience. And that's where you take it that next step. So that's what I mean. Great work. You're doing exactly the right thing. Exactly the right thing.
Yes, when we just try to learn isolated words, it's more painful because you
Mm.
get tired very easily because you can connect with anything context. And when you
Exactly.
do lessons like this, you can
Yeah.
see all the context leading. There is another website that I use a lot. It's the Angle platform. It's some news,
Oh yeah, good.
and
Mm.
yes, it's almost the same that this, but this
Yeah.
is more interesting because we have the video. We can see the
Mm.
presenter doing the
Mm.
things and talk to the people and
Yeah.
showing the country
Mm.
and some places that I didn't know that exist in Britain, for example.
You learn, like you say, it's interesting. You learn something and you go, oh, I remember he went to that place, and it comes back, right? It's interesting. It's caught your thing. Now, exactly as you just said, if I send you this word, right? So that word up on the screen, right? Pitch, right? What does it mean? Any idea? No? If I put it into a context, I'm going to play football this afternoon on the football pitch or at the football pitch, right? So
Yes.
football pitch, that's the green grass area with a goal and the white lines, right? That's a football pitch. That's one meaning. Um, the pitch of my voice, la 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 la. I am changing the pitch of my voice. Sound, second meaning. We're watching the American baseball team and the pitcher is about to pitch the ball. Here's the wind up. Boom. There's the pitch to throw a ball. The words have no absolute meaning on a list. They have to be used. Otherwise, are we throwing a ball? Are we singing a song? Or are we playing a game? You know,
Yes.
so,
In
you've
English,
got to have that.
yes, in English, a word can have many meanings because they change by the context. That
Yeah.
is something that learners in Portuguese that are trying to learn English
Mm.
must understand because here the Portuguese and in Brazil, the Portuguese people, when they are learning English, they just want to translate the words, the phrases,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they think that is the same because here in Portuguese every meaning has a specific word. It's very
Yeah.
rare you have a word with more than two meanings or more than one meaning.
Ah, I
And
see. I
so,
see.
so, so Brazilians often do this,
Mm.
especially at basic level. They try
Mm.
to translate every single word.
Mm.
So this is something painful, and most
Mm.
learners give up in the way because they think that's not possible to learn.
It's too much.
But
Yeah,
uh,
it's too
yeah,
much. Mm.
yes. So I started to study with videos in English, music,
Mm.
and to try to make some less painful, to be fun
Mm.
because it has to be
Mm.
fun,
Mm-hmm.
enjoyable,
Agreed.
because you get the motivation to try to learn more and more through the years. It's almost 5 years then that I have contact with English every day, and
Yeah.
I see that I have to learn much about it. I have to
Mm.
expand my vocabulary, my skills.
Mm.
I don't have the chance to stop of learning because here in
Mm.
Brazil we don't speak English. It's not a second or third language. In
Yeah.
Brazil, is
Yeah.
a 3% speak fluently. So
Yeah.
I have the contact with the English just on my computer.
Yeah. As you've been explaining this to me, this is exactly what I say to people. And being a young person, I tell you what you should do if you haven't done it already. You should have a YouTube video. You should have a YouTube channel where you're teaching people going from Portuguese to English. You can't do this. You have to do this. And variety and interesting is the key because I say that every day to people, right? Unless you're a young student who is used to doing things straight out of a textbook, as an adult, it has to be interesting. It has to be motivating. Otherwise, we give up. It's too
Yeah,
hard.
yes.
Jefferson, Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Have a fantastic day. All right.
Thank you so much
Take
for the
care.
class.